Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our discussion on best practices around virtual hiring events. Today, I'm Carisha Gamble, and I'm the Director of Marketing and Community Outreach for the Workforce Development Board. And today, I have with me Scott Johnson, who is our operator of the OhioMeansJobs Columbus Franklin County Job Center. So, good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Carisha. How are you?
I'm good. And thank you for joining me today on this great discussion about virtual hiring events. And before we get started, I just wanted to let our audience know that, with the pandemic happening and a lot of surges that are unfortunately happening across the United States, many companies are trying to turn to virtual hiring events to be able to have a hiring strategy with wanting to fill these positions. And I was learning as I was researching about virtual hiring events that, career experts are stating that 80% of recruiting will be virtual for the foreseeable future. So it is very interesting to see how we transition to in-person job hiring events to now being virtual with the virtual hiring events. So this conversation is right on time. And, with this, we have actually started doing our CORRE virtual hiring events back in April of 2020, right when the pandemic was really surging, unfortunately. And so we have thought about this as a team, bringing back the CORRE virtual hiring events because of how successful they were. So Scott, I did want to talk a little bit about, what exactly is a virtual hiring event, and, what is that a difference between a virtual hiring event and maybe a job board that someone would go to on a website?
I think that's probably the best way that we could start this conversation. A lot of times, I think when individuals first go into a virtual hiring event, they are expecting something that is much more like an Indeed or an OhioMeansJobs.com, where they're just going to see a list of positions and they'll be able to apply for those positions. The great thing about a virtual hiring event is that it really is a more immersive experience. In particular, the way that we run our events, each employer has their own booth, and we even have all of our employers divided up into different pavilions. So if you think of yourself as going to the Columbus Convention Center and all the different exhibition halls, we have all of the employers in different halls based off of the types of positions that they have available. So we'll have a resource pavilion, we'll have something for customer service, we'll have something for like warehousing and production, healthcare and IT. And the great thing is we can place those employers in multiple booths or in multiple pavilions. So if they have a wide variety of positions, you won't miss them because you didn't go into a certain pavilion. The other thing that I think is really important to remember is that this gives you a chance to learn about the organization before you apply. If you've ever been on something like Indeed, where you see a job posting, it's just that. It's a job description, and you apply for that position with just what you read. We ensure that you have some background information, so you know who the company is, how long have they been in business, what's their story. We provide access to social media links, so you can go out on Facebook and you can look on Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn, and you can see what the company is about, because we understand that there are a lot of individuals out there right now that just need a job.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that the Job Center really focuses on is helping people find employment. But we also want to really help them find long-term, meaningful employment that's in a job that they like, working for a company that meets their values and their expectations. And so that's the thing. In these booths, you can actually dig in. You can really understand what company you're applying for before you go into the offer list and see those actual positions that they're really targeting for this specific hiring event.
Absolutely. And you mentioned a lot about being able to connect with the employer, which is very different from a job board, right? So typically with a job board, you're just uploading your resume, and then, you're kind of waiting in a holding pattern, waiting for someone to respond back to you. And so, with this virtual hiring event, it's a little bit different, where you're able to upload your resume, but also have that interaction with an employer, would you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that is one of the great things. Even in the content that we build into the booths, we have an email address and we have a phone number. So that way you can connect with whoever is helping man their booth from an administrative perspective. So if you have some questions and you want to find out some answers, you can do that. The other awesome thing, and it's one of those things that I really enjoy about our platform, is that we have a chat feature as well. And so when job seekers log in, they'll actually have a chat window that will pop up, and they will be able to see the employer partners that are in at that time. So if you have questions and you want to, talk to a recruiter and ask those clarifying questions before you apply, you have the ability to do that. One of the other things that I think, and we'll talk more about the specifics of this event later, but maybe you go into an organization and it's an organization you've always wanted to work for. You really have the reputation, people that work for the company, and you don't quite see something that's a fit for you. That doesn't mean that they don't have other positions that are open. And so if that recruiter is online in our platform, you can actually strike up a conversation with them and find out what other hiring opportunities they might have. Maybe there's a position they're getting ready to post and it hasn't actually hit their job board yet. And you have a chance to get in line for that position just by talking to that recruiter or that hiring manager.
Absolutely. So what would you say are the keys to preparing for a virtual hiring event?
It's interesting because even as we promote the event, we talk about being able to do it from the comfort and safety of your home. And so I think it's important to know that that is part of the benefit of doing things virtually. But on the flip side, I think you have to remember that you have to get up and you have to prepare like you're going to an in-person event. And the reason that I say that is you never know what might happen out of some of those interactions. We are now in a hybrid work from home, work from the office model. And when I first started working from home, I struggled a little because I was in that relaxed, I'm home mindset. And so I now force myself to get up and dress like I'm going to the office, even when I'm not. One of the things that I found, honestly, for me is wearing shoes makes a huge difference when I'm sitting at the desk at home and working. But I would encourage everyone to prepare in that way. You never know when a recruiter might message you through the chat and ask you to have a quick Zoom meeting. And the last thing that you want to do is not have yourself prepared, looking the way that you want to look for that potential interview, and then have to delay them or reschedule because you'll always be able to strike when the iron is hot. So I think really preparing with that mindset of this is just like I'm going to an event in person where I'm going to meet people is incredibly important for a virtual event as well.
Yes, and kind of a plug for our job center. How can our job center help you prepare for a virtual hiring event?
So that's a perfect segue right there. We actually offer a lot of different workshops. And all of our workshops are facilitated by Zoom, so we can help you with resume. We can help you prep on interview. We have a great networking group that meets tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So that's something if you aren't used to networking in a virtual way, attending that networking know-how every morning, every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. is a great way to do that. And the thing that we are really trying to do with our workshops and the way that we're providing services right now is as much as anything to get everyone comfortable. I think back almost a year ago, the first time we did a Facebook Live event, I was petrified. And now it's almost like second nature to me to talk to the camera and talk to individuals that aren't right here with me because we've just done it so often. But as job seekers, maybe you haven't. And so that's the other piece with the workshops. And the great thing is you can just visit our website, which is omjcfc.org. And under our job seeker tab, there's a workshop link and you can register for any of the workshops. They're all at no cost. They last about an hour. We have a great team that will really help impart some great wisdom on job seekers.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to make sure, our audience knew that there are resources locally, especially in Franklin County, with the Job Center and how we can help them prepare for success at a virtual hiring event. So thank you, Scott, for that. So let's talk a little bit more about detail about our upcoming CORRE Central Ohio ReEmployment and Resource event, virtual hiring event that's coming up this weekend. So if you could tell us a little bit more about the CORRE virtual hiring event and how it's a great opportunity for job seekers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the CORRE events, one of the things, well, two things when we set them up that I think are very unique and really help our job seekers out. One is that the event will start at 8 a.m. on Thursday morning. And so Thursday morning, you can go and you can log into the event, start working with employers, and that event does not close until 11:59 p.m. on Saturday. So if you do happen to be working and you're underemployed, and you want to look at what other opportunities are out there and you work during the day, it's no problem. If you're helping your kids with school and you need to look for, open positions later in the evening, you have 24-hour access. We pride ourselves on the fact that we have the event open for almost 72 hours straight. So that way we get a lot of access to the open positions and people can visit, revisit, and reconsider things. I think that is extremely important. And the other piece is that you mentioned it in the title of the event. We're also bringing resources to the table because we know that a lot of individuals who are out there job searching right now, you are dealing with issues like childcare, or you might have some housing concerns or transportation concerns. There's a lot of things when you haven't been working for a little while and you need to re-enter that workplace where you need some additional help. The partners that work within the job center ourselves, we have a great pool of resources. You can always call us, hit us up on chat on our website, that type of thing. But we also try to bring other resources to this event so that you can connect with those resources in a way that should you find that great position, you get that nod from that employer, we're ready for you to just be successful from day one.
Yes, absolutely. And if you could share a little bit, Scott, about maybe previous organizations or just resources that have been available, if you could share a little bit more about that and how that will help as well during the virtual hiring event.
Absolutely. Some of our quite common partners that participate from a resource perspective would include our own career services team. A lot of individuals don't realize it, but we have a team that's dedicated that works out of the job center, and they focus very specifically on helping individuals at no cost potentially get training opportunities, new licensures and certifications. So there's a great pool of resources right there. But when we expand out beyond that, we have great partners like Goodwill Columbus, Jewish Family Services, the Columbus Urban League, that all provide additional help in not only workforce, but a lot of those other wraparound services. Those organizations are known for the way that they connect within the community. We even have organizations like the Franklin County Child Support Enforcement Agency. Maybe you have questions about how your child support is going to be taken out while you're unemployed or as you get a new job. And so we try to provide links to things like that to impact community action. If you're looking at potential eviction prevention, those type of things, or you need help with utilities, really the sky's the limit. And the other thing that I always tell everyone, if you're in our CORRE hiring event and you're looking in the resources and you don't see a resource that meets your need, you can always call us at 614-559-5052. Email us at info@omjcfc.org or hit our chat on our website, and we can help connect you to a partner that can help you. We have hundreds of community partners that are great resources, and so there isn't a situation that we haven't heard about. And again, that big thing is that we want you to be so successful when you find that next great career opportunity that we need all these resources to be able to really wrap around and help you get there.
Yes, absolutely. And just again, for our audience, our CORRE virtual hiring event will happen this week, starting Thursday, January 28th through the 30th. Again, we are answering any questions that you have about preparing for a virtual hiring event. So if you have questions, please make sure you put them in the chat. We would like to answer any of your questions to make sure that you are successful as you prepare for our CORRE virtual hiring event. And also, just another announcement is our registration is open for the CORRE virtual hiring event. It opened today. So if you would like to register for our upcoming virtual hiring event this week, you would go to www.omjcfc.org. So again, that is up on the screen, and we will also make sure that the link is posted in our chat. So we definitely encourage you to register early, and we definitely want to see you there at our CORRE virtual hiring event.
Yeah, and Krisha, one of the things to mention when you register, go ahead and add a resume to your registration. There's the ability for you to upload a file so that it can be placed with your profile in the system. And that's really important because one of the other added benefits of how our platform works is that all of our employers have the ability to look at the job seeker's registration and see, their education level, their previous work experience, their veteran status, because we have a lot of employers who are excited about hiring veterans. And so they get all of that great information, but then they can also access the resume during the event. So you may not go into a booth for an employer, but an employer might look at your profile and see that resume and actually reach out to you. So having a solid general resume that really highlights kind of the area that you want to work in is extremely important for this event.
Absolutely. So let's get down to some of the great details of our CORRE virtual hiring event. So the employers, so we have some great employers that will be participating this week during our CORRE virtual hiring event. So let's talk a little bit about some of the positions that they have available in the industry. So if you'd like to kind of share a little bit, Scott, just briefly about what industries will be represented during this CORRE virtual hiring event.
Definitely, and we're excited because we have a really well-rounded group for this event this week. As you mentioned earlier, I think we have 25 employers that are currently registered. We have everything from customer service and admin type positions to skilled trades positions. We have warehousing and logistics positions, entry and mid-level IT, and the same in healthcare. So really, we have something to offer just about anyone based off of their previous work experience and what they might be looking for.
Absolutely. So regardless of what position that you're in or what you're looking for, I'm pretty sure we have a position available for you to take a look at during the virtual hiring event. And so again, Scott, just a plug, how can you register for this virtual hiring event?
Absolutely. You go to OhioMeansJobs.org, and at our top menu, you'll see a button that says virtual events. And when you click on that event, it will take you to a page. One of the great things on our website, we did this early on last year, and the videos just kind of stuck. We do have an overview video. So even after this conversation, if you're unsure of what to really expect in a virtual hiring event, you can watch a video that we recorded that walks you through all of the aspects of a booth, how to get into the pavilions, and everything along those lines. And then down at the bottom, you'll see a registration button that you'll click, and it will take you to that registration page right now. And then the day of the event, you can go right back through that link and log into the actual live event.
Yes, absolutely. And don't forget, if you have any questions or having any troubles with registering for the CORRE virtual hiring event, we do have a chat feature available on our website at omjcfc.org. You'll be able to talk to someone live that will be able to kind of walk you through how to register for the virtual hiring event. And then we also are available by phone and email. And Scott, what are those again?
Phone number 614-559-5052, and our email, it's really easy, info@omjcfc.org.
Perfect. So last thing before we wrap up our CORRE virtual hiring event kind of Q&A, what are some other things that you feel are important for people to know as they are preparing for the virtual hiring events?
So I think one of the things that I always recommend is just jumping in. If you haven't done this type of thing before, don't be nervous. Just dig in, look around, and try to figure out exactly what you can find in the event that really fits you and your needs. If you're unsure, like I mentioned, a lot of the employers will have representatives in the chat feature, so be sure to hit them up.
So I think we lost Scott a little bit. It's okay. There he is. He has returned back.
But so I always recommend that you practice. So you text all the time in talking to your friends and your family, but you're not talking to a recruiter. So it wouldn't hurt to have, your spouse, one of your friends, one of your relatives actually hold a conversation by text or by chat with you, so you start to get comfortable. Same thing with FaceTime or any of those tools as well, to talk virtually like this. I don't think that you can ever over prepare for things, but it's beyond preparation. It's about comfort. And so that is always some of the things that I impart on everyone, is just being comfortable with what you're doing and where you're going. And you can't let your anxiety or your unsureness of what your experience is going to be like stop you from trying these things. Everything that we do at the Job Center is at no cost. So that really gives you a great opportunity to connect with employers and to come and go and visit with them multiple times. Carisha, when I think about the span of our CORRE events, I believe this is our 22nd hiring event. And over the entire time of doing it, we've served almost 4,000 different job seekers in those events, and we've had almost 200 different employers attend. So when you look at those numbers, there's obviously some power in what the event offers and what people can do with it. So if you have questions, we'll plug the number again, 614-559-5052. Be sure to call us. We'll walk you through registration, how to interact in the platform, and how to accomplish what you want.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Scott, so much for this great information. I don't see any questions in the chat, so that may mean people are ready to go and register for this event. So we are excited. Again, the CORRE virtual hiring event is happening this week, January 28th through the 30th, and registration is now open, and you can register at OMJ cfc.org. We highly encourage you to do that. Like Scott was mentioning, we have 25 employers who are hiring for multiple positions that we saw on our spreadsheet, and they are ranging anywhere from any type of industry. So any logistics, warehouse, healthcare, administration, you name it, there's probably a position that is available for you. So we strongly encourage you to register for this free event at omjcfc.org. We do have a couple workshops coming up this week, Scott, that maybe can also help job seekers as they prepare for the virtual hiring event as well.
Yep, absolutely. I mentioned networking know-how, which is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And then we also have a resume workshop on Friday at 9 a.m. You can access both of those through our website as well. We have a ton of slots left in both of the events. I really encourage everybody to attend both of those. You'll get a lot of great knowledge, and you'll also get, again, that comfort of being in that virtual space, which is really important as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you again, Scott, for this information. I appreciate it for you coming on. We will be doing more of these Facebook Lives, so please stay tuned. We will be doing different topics, so I'm excited. And Scott, as always, it's great talking with you. And again, for everyone who is viewing this video, please, again, register for the CORRE virtual hiring event happening this week at www.omjcfc.org. Thank you again, Scott, so much for this discussion. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.